Hi, and welcome to episode 73 of the Cat Lady podcast. My name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's two T's, C-A-T-T, craft all the things. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I did get a boost in subscribers over this past week it's always due to Rhinebeck, which I love. Everyone's so excited to watch all the Rhinebeck episodes, which I am included in that crowd of people. So thank you for checking me out, and I hope you like what you see. I do little silly things sometimes. It is Halloween today, so happy Halloween 2017, October 31st, sorry. It's Tuesday, and yeah, it's a snowy morning in Michigan, unfortunately. It's cold. It's not going to snow later, but it will be cold tonight, I mean, we live in Michigan, we're used to this, but it would be nice occasionally to have a mild, warm Halloween, especially when the kids are in very thin, layered costumes, so that's okay. They'll just have to throw on their coats and have at it anyways. So I am dressed up as a Splatoon Squid Girl. So Splatoon is a video game for the Nintendo console. Emily is also dressed up as a Splatoon Squid Girl. She's pink. So I made these hats for us to wear, and I made the shirts, which doesn't say anything. I've been asked when we go out on things, they're like, what's your shirt say? Nothing, it's just squid gibberish, I guess. So that's what that's all about. It's nice and warm, so at least we will stay cozy warm tonight when we're walking around. I need something for our hands though, because yeah, hands get cold, and I don't really have any good gloves for the kids and myself right now, so oh well. So anyways, welcome to the podcast. My name is Andrea, the Cat Lady. You can find me on Instagram as the Cat Lady. I have a Facebook group, the Cat Lady Podcast, and I also have a Ravelry group, which is the Cat Lady Podcast. And on the Ravelry group is where I do most of the giveaways. I have information about a retreat I'm trying to plan, which, yeah, I need to get on that again. So if you're interested in a mini weekend retreat, just knitting and eating and crafting and whatever, go check out the thread in there and give me your feedback on that. Looking for some time in the summer, probably early summer, and it's going to be in Oxford, Michigan, so which is like northern Oakland County, Michigan. I don't know if I put the website on there or not, but I need to update that thread again with the information of the actual retreat, so you can visit the website and ask the owner any questions if you had any questions. So I guess that's kind of podcast news, so we're jumping right into podcast news. So I already titled my episode. Sometimes the title comes after I record. Sometimes I kind of go in knowing what I'm going to talk about. So my title this week was Exclamations and Expletives. I am a family-friendly podcast, so I will not be. I usually don't. I do censor myself, so just so you know, nothing that crazy is going to happen. But here's where my exclamation comes in. So I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So yay! That's always exciting. I'm at I think I looked at was like 490 or something. So I only need 10 more. And I posted on Instagram that I will do a giveaway at 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you like what you see, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, just click that subscribe button so I can move forward with a giveaway. And I'm prepared. I have things to show you to give away, because I can say I'm going to do a giveaway and then not show you anything. But I make bags occasionally when I find time to sew. So I've had this made for a while, but it's just a little sock-sized bag. It's got I really like this. I actually have two of them because I'm keeping one for myself because I like it. So that's the problem. I make these bags, I'm like, oh, I like them for myself, so I try to make two. So one I can give away or possibly sell someday. Usually give away. Usually I donate to podcasts or give them away or swap or whatever. But there's inside just these little. But I love this little rose. It's kind of almost vintagey fabric. And then a matching DPN holder. Same insides. So, and these are for small, like regular size DPNs. I know there's different sizes, but this is a standard 5-inch. I don't remember, but whatever size I use, that's what this is size-wise. And just little plastic snaps, and so that matches, and it's got a paracord drawstring, which sometimes is a little smoother than the ribbon. And then, did I bring the other one? Oh yeah, 100 grams of this. I do have cats. I am the Cat Lady, of course. So if you are allergic to cats, then maybe I'll have to work something else out, or I don't know. But so, there's a little bit of cat. I try to keep the yarn out of the cats, but there's a little cat hair in here, so I apologize. But 100 grams, please focus. I'm having problems with my camera. But 100 grams of this Plymouth yarn Happy Feet, 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon, in colorway 10. So it's like kind of a blue with some burgundies and blacks, and maybe even a little like dark green in there. So there's 100 grams of that to go with the bag and the DPN holder. If you are interested in donating prizes, pattern prizes, stitch markers, notions, anything, please let me know. The more prizes I have, the more things I can give away. So this is a prize pack, so if I get anything else donated or if anything else comes my way, then I will have more than one prize. So, but first I gotta get to 500, so subscribe. Thank you. Oh, and that yarn was actually donated to me from a longtime listener, Ange in the East, and she donated me a bunch of yarn like right when I started. So I still hoarding onto that, so it's coming in handy for these giveaways and stuff. You know, I kept some of it for myself. I don't know if I've knit with much of it anyways, but I do have a plan for some of it. But that one I'm happy to give away. The fabric I also was donated. You know, I'm not sure where that one specifically came from, but I appreciate all the donations I've received in the past, and I do like to be able to use them for giveaways because you know, this podcast isn't making me money. It's pretty much costing me money when I do these things. Oh, and that is one the other thing, the US only for shipping out. If you want to enter the giveaway once it's up and rolling and you're not a US, if you're not from the US, then maybe we can do a pattern giveaway. So maybe I can do a separate thread for, you know, overseas or Canadian or whatever non-US subscribers. Do a pattern giveaway and then do the giveaway because, like I said, this is not this is not making me money. So all this stuff costs money and shipping, and I've burned myself pretty good a couple times with shipping overseas, and it's a bummer. I wish I could do it more, but it's just a lot of money to ship these things. So even something small like that is just like, it costs like $20 a ship. So anyways, so US only, but again, first I have to get to the 500, so I will post that picture of the prize on Instagram as well to generate some more interest. Oh, and to show you the rest of my costume, I forgot I had my little ink tank back here and my paint roller, which usually they have like giant paint rollers they use in the game. So this is our equivalent of a paint roller. So the Winsey shawl will be given away on a couple of different podcasts. If you haven't heard, I've designed a pattern, which actually will come up later. My first pattern, it's called the Twinsy shawl, and Jen, the Uncreative Crafter, just did a giveaway, and that one is closed, but stay tuned because it'll be given away on Sarah Nova Crafts, Two Tangled Games, and the Canadian Knitter podcast. We're kind of chatting to see who's going to go first. I think right now I think Sarah might be next, but I'm not sure, so it might be Jessica. So that's it. That's it for podcast news. So on to knitting. I don't have a lot to talk about today. I just talked about it a lot last week, obviously, and you know, it's been a busy week, so this will be pretty quick today. But on to knitting. So I am working on a test design for Brandy Miller Designs, who is Eat My Yarns on Ravelry, and it's living in my Olympus Dye Works bag, which is a bag I won. It's like Halloween candy bag, so perfect. And it's in the Halloween colorway, so this is kind of my Halloween project, and it's almost done. I might actually finish it today, but I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to or not, since it's going to be a busy day. But it's called Finn. This is on US 6. My notes down and then I need them. US 6 needles. I've made a couple mistakes here and there, but my mistakes, not pattern mistakes. I did, you know, I am testing it, so I have come across a few questions here and there and some clarifications, but nothing that's messed me up too much. But I did, yeah, and this thing, it needs to be blocked. Like, it looks like a snake, especially with the stripes. Actually, to be honest, like, this, like, I started knitting with this yarn, I'm like, oh, it's striping. I didn't realize it was striping. And I'm like, is that gonna make it look weird? Like, is it gonna get all funky at the end? But boy, the stripe repeats are so thick that it stripes. It's been striping throughout the whole thing. I know, and now, yeah, it's still striping, and I'm almost done. So it's called Fin because if you uncurl these things, there's these little fins that kind of need to be blocked out. Oh, but this is gonna look so cool in the stripes, really. So, this is Desert Vista Dye Works in the Cauldron colorway, something Cauldron, into the Cauldron. But yeah, I've messed up a little bit in the lace here, but not anything real noticeable. Just I kind of had to like fudge it around, and then there's an I-cord edging that kind of screwed up a little bit at the beginning, and I tried to tink it back and I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, like right at the beginning, and I really didn't want to frog the whole thing already, even though it was so close to the beginning. But it's like I just looks like there's like a little knot. I don't know if I twisted it or something, but nobody's gonna notice that. But yeah, this is a really fun pattern, easy to memorize. Looks cool, very different. So yeah, stay tuned for that to be released. So I just have a few more of the lace rows left. I do have a bit more yarn left than I thought I was gonna have. It's falling apart, but so I might add a couple rows of the, add a couple rows of the lace. I did add an extra fin. I should have added another one, but again, I was a little paranoid about yarn and how much I needed, so there's that. Oh, and let's see if I can find, oh, here's a picture of the finished. You can kind of see that there. Yeah, and she's got a couple different versions. Sport weight, this was a sport, she's got a sport weight, and I want to say that might be a picture of the sport weight, and then a fingering weight, and a garter stitch version as well, so lots of variety, which I like. And that's it for whips. I have other whips, but I haven't worked on anything, so I'm not gonna talk about them or anything. So on to finished objects. Here is where the expletives come in. So if you've been watching for a while, you're aware of my Christmas sock thing. I've been knitting Christmas socks for the family. So I did my husband's socks, and I still don't feel like those fit great. He says they're okay, but I won't let him wear them yet because I want to take a picture of us all with our socks before they go all worn in. So I feel like I had problems with that one, and I counted rows, and then I got to the point where I kind of counted rows and measured, and I was like, okay, so for Jim's, I counted the rows, but I measured, but I think I ended up measuring, and it was like, okay, well, it's measuring where it should be, so I think I'm just going to go with it, even though it's less rows. Well, then I finished, yeah, one sock just seemed a little snugger. So then I get to my socks, and the same thing happens. I get to counting rows, and I'm like, this one seems the right size, but the rows aren't quite yet. So I'm like, well, I'm going to just add all the rows, because that's what happened last time. Guess what? It's too big! So this one is perfect. This one is perfect. Fits on my sock locker perfect. Fits on my foot perfect. This one is too big in the foot. In the foot. I knit toe up. So all the way down here, it's wrong. I'm so upset. I knit 110 rows of the cuff. 50 rows stockinette, 60 rows of ribbing. I do not want to rip this out. I do not want to rip that out. And the heel. So I have to rip all that out just to take out like 3 or 4 rows in the foot. See, you can see. Right. So I Googled it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put in a lifeline somewhere like he's around here, right past the toe increases, a couple rows up. And I'm going to cut the toe, and I'm going to unravel it. So supposedly, you know, if you cut right at the toe and you unravel, then you don't have any yarn to rejoin because you'll have that yarn. And I'm taking out rows, so I should have plenty of yarn. And then I'm going to knit top down. So the toe is going to look a little different because, of course, it's not going to look exactly the same. I don't know if I can get it to match or not. Because I guess I got to look to see what the... So I just knit 2 together. Or, what do I do? Knit in the front and back on each side. So now I don't know if I can just knit 2 together on each side, or if I need to... I don't know, I got to figure that out. But I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to do it. But I will eventually. But yeah, I literally got to probably take out like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 rows maybe. Maybe. I got to figure that out too. Like, I don't know. I like them snug. I'm going to count the rows again too, as best I can from the heel down, and see if I really did miscount. So I'm upset. There were some expletives said in real life. I will not repeat them here. But I might wait till after we take a picture, because all I need is a fun picture of the 4 of our feet together for Christmas socks, you know, like last year. Once I do that, then I can determine how I'm going to fix them. So that's that. So upset about that. I didn't weave in any ends or anything because I'm not wasting time doing anything on them until they're fixed. So the yarn is Plymouth Happy Feet yarn in the Jewel Mix colorway. Nice subtle Christmas tones. And now I have to start the kids, which I'm doing tube socks, possibly ribbed, like a 2x2, 1x1, I don't know, ribbing, 2x1. I'm excited. So those should be easy. Can't really screw those up. Knock on wood. Don't drop the camera over. So yeah, so that's not good. But in other positive news, so I have another finished object, and here, and I can talk about this now, it's the twinsy shawl. I made a second twinsy shawl, so it's not the first one I made for the actual pattern, but here it is, the second one. And this is made from the Fiber Optics gradient that I spun, so this is hand spun. So it starts off as green, it goes to like a gray, to a purple, to like a purpley blue. And I got all the colors in there. I have just a little bit left, just like a little ball left of the bluish purple, so not bad. And so I did not, since it was hand spun, I did not have the yardage that I typically have. It's a little thicker, it's maybe like a heavy fingering. I don't know, I went up a needle size to swatch it and I didn't like it. It was too open. Yeah, I mean, I like the way the 6, because I mean, I blocked it out. You gotta block it out really good. So I like the 6, because I don't want huge, you know, I don't want it to be see-through, but it is still pretty see-through. So I wanted the 6, which is what I went with the first one. And then I did 7 repeats out of the 9. And then ended on, and then instead of, got cats doing things. So I did 7 repeats instead of the 9 that's in the pattern. And then I, instead of a picot edge, which is what the original pattern called for, I just ended up doing a repeat of basically started another repeat of the lace section until I couldn't do anymore. And I made it to 4 repeats of the lace section at the end. So it just leaves like kind of a little lacy end to it, and then just a regular stretchy bind off. So usually the pattern ended with a large, hey! Sorry, cat's licking out of the pan on the stove. Okay, anyways. Instead of the picot edge, so what the original pattern is, like I have a large lace repeat at the end, did a couple garter rows, and then a picot edge. Instead, I just did the little lace until the yarn was close to running out and did a bind off. So that is, I like how flexible this is, and it's still huge. It's 84 inches by 15. So what I kind of was doing is wrapping it once and kind of tying it here so I can get all the colors in there. So I got a picture of me wearing it on Instagram. I really like it. I like how adaptable it is. It's a fun knit. I know, I hate to say it, I know it's my first design and I'm probably very partial to it, but it's like one of my favorite knits now, so I probably will make another one. I do love knitting with hand spun, and the fact that I can adapt this to, because I mean you can do anything. I could have done just a picot bind off here. I could have, you know, done like one eyelet row and then bind off. You know, you just do anything. I mean, you still need, this was like 280 yards, so I'd say that would probably be about the good minimum. You wouldn't want to go too much less because it wouldn't be large enough, but yeah, this was good. And you could obviously do it in any weight of yarn. Just up your needle size, and again, if it's getting too big, you just stop your repeats and bind it off or whatever. So that is the Twinsy Shawl by Andrea Choate, Cat Lady Designs. It's weird how Ravelry makes you put it by your real name, and then you can put it in a collection of your, you know, business name, I guess. So it's a little confusing to me, but I think if you Googled Cat Lady Designs, you'd find it. If you go to my Ravelry page, the Cat Lady, you can find it there too. And again, check out some other podcasts that are gonna do giveaways. And I will do, after they're all said and done, so maybe in a month or so, I'll do a giveaway as well. I figured I'd let them get those out there first. And that's it for knitting. Spinning. Not too much to share, but I worked a little bit on one of my odds and ends on my spindle. This is my Snyder spindle with the cat cutout. Oh, and I love this. This is Into the World odds and ends. So it's a very eclectic blend mix of random fibers, so you don't know what you're spinning, but this one is so soft and it's shiny. I'm pretty sure it's got silk in it. I really want a whole braid of whatever this is. I mean, it feels like it's got a lot of silk content in it, and I think I saw some when I was at the booth at Rhinebeck that they did have some like 50/50s blends, they had a blend that had a lot of silk in it, and this has to be it because it's so shiny and just smooth, and it's a little slippery obviously to spin, but spinning's so nice. So this is what I got so far. It's a Turkish. So I had some orange there, started with some orange, I went into like a blue, green, teal, then back to green, and I move into that, back to a light green, back to an orange. And then this will be chain plied, Navajo plied, into a mini. So, but I've been trying to knock the other things off my list. So I got my socks sort of done, getting the fin done, and then got some other things I gotta pull out. I got my second shawl design that I need to work on. I need to start working on Christmas presents. I've got a few ideas in mind of what I want to do for the kids' teachers, so I need to get going on that. So I'm not gonna stress myself out too much about the stuff, but if I can manage to, I would like to make some fingerless mitts for both the teachers. So if I can get those done, that would be great. Nothing finished. Nothing. Okay. Stash. Surprisingly, I have a little stash, nothing crazy, but I do have stash. So this is 1,000-ish yards. I sort of counted. I didn't really count very accurately though, so should probably recount. But I don't know what weight. I kind of tried to guess. It might be like, it's 3 strands. Kind of, they're not very twisted together. They're kind of laying together, but. Almost seemed fingering, but maybe more of a sport. I'm gonna say sport. I'm terrible at doing the wraps per inch test. I don't know how, because I could cram a lot of wraps per inch on there if I squish them together, but am I supposed to just lay them gently? I have to Google that and figure out the best way of how to do that, because I feel like I never do that right. But anyways, it's like a blushy pink, which is not gonna stay. This is a reclaimed yarn from a thrift store sweater. So I purchased a sweater last summer and attempted to unravel it because I've heard, last spring we went to Ann Arbor Fiber Expo, and there was a whole booth called the Recycled Yarn Company, and she does this. She just takes apart sweaters and knits new sweaters and reclaims the yarn and sells it for very reasonable prices. It's not like she's like gouging people or anything. That's a lot of work to take these apart too. So I thought, and I want to say after that, I'm like, oh, that sounds like such a cool idea. So I happened to go to the thrift store, and lo and behold, I found this pink sweater that was fine merino nylon. So it doesn't say exactly, or fine wool, doesn't say what type of wool. It said fine wool nylon. I don't have the tag, but it was an Ann Taylor sweater. It's like, I probably paid like $2 or $3 for it. It was like a large, extra large, weird sweater. I should have took a picture of the sweater beforehand too, but it had some like weird stitching kind of down that made like an X, and it had like the weird sleeves that looked like wings. So it was a very odd sweater, and I tried it on. I'm like, maybe I could just keep the sweater, but nah, it wasn't really my thing. So I tried to unravel it, didn't go well. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what I was doing, so I threw it in the closet. So on Rhinebeck, Ansha, the girl that was traveling with us, she was working on a shawl that was all made from yarn that she'd unraveled from a extra large men's sweater. And they were beautiful colors, and it was a nice wool. So I'm like, it gave me that spark to try it again. And she kind of showed me a sweater and how to go about unticking it. So I pulled it out of the closet and started messing with it again. And still, at first, it wasn't going well because, you have to make sure you take it apart from the right side. You can't, if it's knit top down, you gotta take it apart top down. So I was starting with the bottom, and I couldn't get it anywhere with it. So I'm like, okay, then I started from the top, and again, it's got all these seams and sewn in parts. Finally, I got a chunk, started unraveling. And then, of course, parts would break or come apart or whatever, and you can just kind of slice it together where you kind of rub it and get a little wet, and that worked great. You can see some of my joins in here, but probably can't see it on the camera, but there's one like right there. But again, once it's knit, you're not going to see it. And I can probably fudge it a little bit when I come across some. But yeah, I'm going to dye this, hopefully, because I'd really like to dye yarn, so this would be a perfect project to dye, because again, this is not quite my color. And I thought originally I'd make a sweater with it, but I think I have enough yards, but every time I keep looking at sweater patterns, it's like I don't know if I have enough yards. And again, I don't know the weight exactly, so I gotta figure out an appropriate weight test, do a swatch. I really need to do a swatch. That'll really answer a lot more questions, but who likes to swatch? Not me. But I will swatch and do something cool with this. So, of course, I'm excited to do something cool with it now, but I really need to wait because I have so many other things to do. But that was a fun project, and I did actually go back to the thrift store last week, and search through the sweaters again. I didn't find anything. So, lots of acrylic and lots of cotton. So, not a lot of wool. In other stash, I'll just list off what they are, and then you can link to them in the show notes to see them. They're patterns. So I got a couple patterns sent to me for my birthday. So the first one was the Solitude Thrummed Slippers by Mary Chiba, and that was from Tanya, who's Celestia22 from the After Hours Knitting Group podcast. They are a thrummed slipper. So if you don't know what thrums are, is they pretty much you knit like little bits of wool into it, and they kind of look like little hearts because it's like the little V shape. But then all that wool is sticking out in the back. So when you stick your foot in there, it's like sticking your foot in a cloud. They're super warm because they're all just woolly, soft. So again, I'll link the pattern in my show notes, and you can click on the pattern to see them. The next one is the Check Me Out. That's M-E-O-W-T, so meow. Check Me Out. Cat, Owl, and Panda Knee-High Socks by Lauren Riker. And that was gifted to me from Jessica from the Sarah Nova Crafts podcast. Hey. He's doing stuff. He's doing stuff again, that cat. But they are like a knee-high sock that have a cat ears and a face, and then on the back it says meow, and then the panda and the owl say other things. Hey. So those are really cool. I really want to make those, so those look fun. And I looked through the pattern, and at first it looks kind of daunting, but I think it'll be okay. Hey. My cat has anxiety, so if you're new to this podcast, he has tended to, which I feel like he did. He peed on my shelf. That little expletive. There's another expletive. He peed on my shelf. That little cat. See, and he's wandering, so he makes me really nervous when he does that. Seriously. So anyways, and last pattern, this wasn't you sit down. Just sit down. The last pattern I'm going to talk about is one I sort of won. So Danae Knits, who is the Den Knits podcast, and Danae Knits Designs, I think. I can't remember her actual designer name, but she came up with a pattern, and it was asking for naming help. So I came up with a name. It's called the Showstopping Beauty, and it's based on it's made with Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper yarn. So of course I just kind of went on that tangent of the Showstopping Beauty. It's a really cool shawl with 3 colors. It's using the intermission base, which is like half of a skein of yarn. So it's 3 half skeins, half of fingering yarn. And so it's lots of color striping and different different stitch patterns, all in this really large. It's very large, so it's a skein and a half of yarn essentially. So it's a very big shawl, and yeah, I'd like to stash dye for that one because that one looks fun. It needs to be a very specific color palette though. And I actually was looking at my exploration station today, and maybe I'll frog that one because it's only like this big. And maybe I might be able to use that for some of those colors for the show-stopping beauty instead. I don't know. I'll have to look at both of them to decide which one I want. Because I'm still not 100% loving the Exploration Station. There's like one color in there that's just not doing it for me. I mean, it works, but it's like, I don't know. So yeah, I might have to do that. So also I was looking at my Find Your Fade leftovers because some of them I have larger chunks left over. So maybe I can, because I need like some contrasting colors, not, because I thought, oh, I can just take 3 colors from my fade that are left over, but they're too similar. I need some contrast. So if I took some fade colors and then some Exploration Station colors and kind of went together, maybe. So, but I can't guess anything on right now. Sit down. You are really on my nerves, Cat. So, life in review. So again, if you're new, I like to just kind of talk about what I've been doing for the last week or so, or depending on when I podcast last. So if you're just here for the crafts, fix my hat there, then I will see you next time, hopefully next week, maybe 2 weeks. So I try to do like weekly or bi-weekly, depending on what my schedule is, and depending on, I can't believe you peed on my stuff. Depending on my schedule or what I have on the needles and on the wheel and stuff. But anyways, last week was just crazy. I came home from Rhinebeck and was like thrown into so many things. I had lunch dates, which is not like a big deal, but you know, I have to go out and be ready to go and do things. So you know, I had lunch, I had to get groceries, I had a church meeting. Emily's doing her first communion this year, so we had a meeting to go through for that. I had karate, which I skipped karate this week, that last week, because I was just fried. I was just Rhinebeck hangover, totally real. And then my dad took me out to dinner, took us out to dinner for my birthday, and yeah, my birthday was last Sunday, so the day I was driving home from Rhinebeck. So yeah, I mean, it was crazy. So a week just flew by though. So Friday though, I did end up going to my karate test for my belt test. Stop. I took my karate belt test for Green Advanced, which is halfway to black belt, which is pretty exciting. The testing gets harder and harder. Each level you go, they get longer and longer. I was getting pretty fried. It was almost an hour, which is nothing because they say the black belt test is 3 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to get through a 3-hour test? But again, I'm only halfway there, so I got a long way to go. Up until now, it's been like 3 months-ish. Every 3 months you can test. I took a hiatus last year around this time for a good few months. Had some health problems, but after brown, so I could have one more test that I could probably take in 3 months, and then it's brown belt. And after that, I think it moves to like 6 months. It takes about 6 months of training before you can test, and then again another 6, another 6. Well, it'll be a few years, and I plan to stick with it because I really enjoy it and it's really cool. So, and if you're on Instagram, there is a wonky video of me kicking and breaking my board. I look ridiculous, but I broke a board, so it was pretty cool. We got pumpkins this weekend. We carved them on Sunday. My mom and stepdad came over and they helped carve pumpkins, and I made pumpkin seeds, and that was the best. I love pumpkin seeds. Today is Halloween, so kids have a parade this afternoon, so I gotta keep an eye on the time. It's still pretty early. So. Kids have a parade this afternoon and then parties, so I'm gonna be flitting around there trying to help them get dressed and into their costumes. So Emily was the squid girl. David's going to be Luigi from the Nintendo Mario and Luigi, Super Mario Brothers. And my husband, Jim, is going to be Mario. So of course he's not going to be there today, but he'll dress up tonight to take the kids out. So they're cute. If I can find, I have some pictures. I might have entered in pictures in the past when I talked about them before, but I'll throw in a couple extra pictures again. And my dad and his girlfriend are coming over to help pass out candy while we take the kids out. We'll have pizza, and then I'll just pass out tonight. Pass out after I pass out candy. It snowed this morning, like I said. It's going to be cold as heck tonight, but you know, we're going to bundle up and trick or treat because that's what we do. So that's all I got. That's it. So thanks for tuning in. hope you like what you see. Again, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so that I can go ahead and get 500 subscribers and do a giveaway, and then you can come back and win a bag and yarn and fun stuff. And again, if you have any donations, something you want to share, then please let me know. And I hope everyone gets to craft all the things, and I hope to see you next time, and take care. Bye.